Misfits, people ask me all the time about tools that I use in my life and business to maximize my success. I usually start by telling them one of my most powerful tools is my morning habits. And of course, they look at me somewhat confused. I then explain how important it is for me to center myself and how I begin my day and plan for my success. It's critical to consistent high performance. And it doesn't take me long, about 5 or 10 minutes, because I use a great resource called the 5-Minute Journal. The 5-Minute Journal is the simplest, most effective way I've ever found to start your day in the right mindset, doing the right things, and set yourself up for success. And it is exactly what it says, a 5-minute exercise you can do each day. Let me ask you, if you could reach your next level in your life and business by spending just 5 minutes of focused time a day, would you do it? I bet you would. And I know it works because I've experienced the power of it. And you can get your 5-minute journal simply by going to www.misfitentrepreneur.com/journal. That's misfitentrepreneur.com/journal. Do what I do. Use this amazing resource to give yourself an edge in your performance and your success. Get your 5-minute journal today. Hello, Misfit Entrepreneurs. This is Dave Lukas, and welcome to another episode of the Misfit Entrepreneur, where it's our job to help you unleash your inner misfit and break through to higher levels of success, wealth, and fulfillment by bringing you the best insight and information from the world's top entrepreneurs, with a specific focus on their misfit side, the specific traits, habits, and secrets that have allowed them to thrive and succeed. As a reminder, if you're new to watching us on our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button below. Give this video a like and comment as well. We do our best to respond to all comments as timely as possible. This week's Misfit Entrepreneur is Michael Stone. Mike is the president and CEO of CertaPro Painters, a billion-dollar company with over 370 franchise owners in over 500 territories across the US and Canada. You've no doubt probably seen or heard of them. Mike joined the company in 1999 as a sales associate and worked his way all the way up to president and CEO. His story is one of the best examples of what can happen if you play the long game in your business. And that's just one of the reasons that I've had him on. I'm not only to share what he's learned along his journey so far, but also to talk about how to build a long-term lasting company. Let's jump in. Mike, are you ready to unleash your inner misfit?
I can't wait. Let's go.
Well, hey, it's great to have you on. I'm excited about this because you have built, you've been there from the beginning and built one amazing company in CertaPro. I was actually just driving this morning to the gym and saw one of the signs out there and stuff, and see the cars on the road all the time. Here at Columbus, Ohio, you probably have like 15 franchises, but start from the beginning. So you start all the way, back in a long time ago, back in the 90s, and tell us how you got to where you're at.
Well, first off, I'm blessed to be part of CertaPro. Make no mistake about it. It's an organization that has provided incredible opportunities for me. And it all starts with people who want to get better at what they do every day. That's one of our core values, practicing continuous improvement. The franchise owner who gave a shot for me, Dan Hutchins in San Diego in 1999, was just an example of somebody who lives our core values at CertaPro and always investing in their people. And CertaPro had an incredible leadership development program, whether you were a corporate staff member, a franchise owner, or even somebody who worked in one of the franchise's businesses. And if you lean in and see that opportunity that people are investing in you, businesses don't grow, people grow businesses. And CertaPro took that time in the early days and opened the doors for me. And I was lucky enough to be surrounded by people who supported me through that journey.
Yeah. And, I mentioned in the beginning in the intro about how really playing the long game pays off in entrepreneurship. And it obviously certainly has for you. So talk to us, what are your thoughts on playing the long game in business? What does that mean to you? And what should entrepreneurs know about, looking at their business and the trajectory that way?
Well, oftentimes people are looking for immediate gratification, and we talk to franchise owners every day, and oftentimes they set audacious goals for 1 year, but we always tell our business owners to build 3-year business plans. Oftentimes you'll see that they far exceed their 3-year goals, maybe not always that 1-year goal, but the reason why you want to be thinking, at least as a small business owner, and even for me now as the CEO of a much larger organization, you need to make decisions that are going to impact your business not in not just the short run, but you got to be looking around the corner. What's the infrastructure I need? What are the roles that need to be added to the business? And it'll help you in the short run, certainly, but maybe not as much as it's going to help you in the long run. It's, having a clarity of vision, understanding what's your roadmap or blueprint to success. And that was one of the things that we did very early on at CertaPro that allowed us to have success is we created this thing called the path. And the path is a step-by-step roadmap or blueprint on how to scale and run a professionally managed business. Painting is our vehicle, is our widget, the $60 billion a year industry that painting is. And we have about 2% market share, Dave, 2% of that market. So it's just an unbelievable runway of growth and opportunity, even over the next 10 years. And we've had quite a run of success, thanks to these amazing owners.
Well, and to that point, though, I mean, CertaPro, I mean, by all intents and purposes, people see $1 billion company would thinks, it's a fairly mature company. But to your point, you've continued to grow significantly, over the years. You have a lot of runway. Like, what strategies have been most effective in scaling the business and helping your franchisors be as successful as they are?
Well, I spoke a little bit of when somebody buys a business, they need to understand what is the business going to look like in the long run. So a path or a roadmap or a blueprint, that's the first step. 2, you've got to recruit, onboard, train, really operate at a high level, and then retain your talent. As I said, people are the key to growing businesses, not the business itself. Yes, there's billions and billions of dollars of opportunity in front of us. But you only can succeed is if the people you bring in want to be with you long term and they see a runway of growth for themselves. And so, I mean, one of the most amazing parts of CertaPro is watching a small business owner start a business from scratch, maybe do $500,000, but in a few years they're doing $2 million. In a few more years they're doing $5 million. I mean, we have franchise owners that are now pushing, $15, $20 million in revenue. I mean, we're talking hundreds of painters working in these businesses, 20, 30, 40 staff members in some cases. I mean, so you've got to build infrastructure that when you're one of the people who are part of that growth engine and you've got a great culture rooted in our core values, well, you attract a lot of other talent to your business. And, we're trying to lift up the painting industry, make CertaPro Painters the workplace of choice for the contractors who play in our space, and see that it can be an incredible vehicle towards wealth creation, no matter your role.
So let's break all that down. You talked about the blueprint. You talked about the core values. You talked about hiring and getting the right people doing the right things. So first, talk to us. What are the core values that you guys have instilled that have helped make you successful? And why did you choose them?
So it starts with deliver what you promise, means, you honor your commitments, right? And be known as somebody of your word. As a contractor, showing up on time differentiates you in your space. The highest level of anxiety anyone has is with the 15 minutes before the contractor they hired. They're always thinking, I wonder if they're going to show up on time today. You're smiling at me, Dave, because you know that to be true. You've hired a contractor, you're like, yeah, they didn't show up, or they showed up 2 hours late, or they called and said, we're on our way, and then they got there in the afternoon. So deliver what you promise. That's our first core value. Have pride in what you do. I mean, the coolest thing about painting, it's the most cost-effective way to beautify someone's home or business. So we take things that are dull and lifeless and we make them beautiful again. You do that with a coat of paint. So have pride in what you do. That's our second core value. Third core value is respect the individual. I mean, the coolest thing about franchising is we value all people, their ideas and beliefs. We're an incubator of innovation. Franchise owners have this entrepreneurial spirit. And if you embrace the idea of them sharing great entrepreneurial best practices, you package them up as a franchisor and you make a new SOP out of that, well, that's how you see productivity gains year over year. So that's our third core value. Our fourth core value is practice continuous improvement. We may be the largest painting company in North America, but if we don't try and get better at what we do and challenge all our stakeholders to get better every day, well, that's the day we rest on our laurels and somebody will come up and eat our lunch. You can't, when you have 2% of the market, you can't ever think that Always hungry, never satisfied is kind of got to be the mindset you got to have. And we added a fifth core value, and this one we're still trying to have take root, which is embrace the possibilities. We're going to invest millions and millions of dollars in technology over the next 10 years. We know that to drive productivity for our franchise owners is we want to be able to use all the technology at our disposal to be able to make better decisions faster, help us become more productive. We know AI is going to play a role in it. We also are embracing the possibilities around the incredible advancements in painting tools and equipment. That allows painters to be more efficient on the job site. If you can put paint on a substrate or a surface faster and it looks better and has better coverage, then you can get on to the next project that much faster, and that'll put more paint, more money in the painter's pocket, and it'll also allow you to provide more value to the homeowner. So those are just some of the things, and they are all rooted in how if you live those core values, then you deliver an extraordinary experience to the people that you touch, whether it's a customer who becomes a raving fan or an associate who tells their friends and family that this is the best place to work, a franchise owner who tells somebody, hey, I can't believe I could make this kind of money running a painting business. And that's how we attract more talent to join our franchise community. Also allows us to add incredible staff members to support our franchise owners.
All those are excellent. I can't agree more with the one, obviously the one about running your business. Like you said, you have 2% market share. So you have to, be running your business like somebody's coming after you, trying to take that and grow beyond you all the time. I think no matter what size business you are, no matter how much market penetration you have, it's a good way to look at it. You're always hungry. You mentioned blueprint and talked several times. You said that you got to have a blueprint. So what's the blueprint? Like what have you guys put together that is the blueprint for success for your business, for your franchises, and so on?
Well, if I share too much of that detail, then my competitors will learn about it. So I think that
share what you can, maybe the tenets or the pillars, if you will.
Yeah, I think the most important thing to understand is that you buy a franchise to go into business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. For yourself, not by yourself. Having it and becoming an entrepreneur, I think very lonely. And when you buy a franchise, you buy a business in a box. You buy, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do it? You're going to teach me how to market. Hey, maybe I have an entrepreneurial spirit. But to be clear, more than half the businesses that start in the US and Canada fail. But when you buy a franchise like CertaPro, you have a 97% success rate. 97% don't fail, right? So you're buying a business, so to speak, in a box. But the roadmap or blueprint, it's not great just to run a business. I want you to run a big, powerful operation. And there are steps and skills that you need to learn along the way, allow you to go from zero to very large. And some of it's leadership skill development. Some of it is what roles to hire and when. Some of it is how to deploy the technology. Some of it's what is the best marketing as you get to different levels of business. And all of those things are encompassed in your path. And some of it is your own preference as yourself. Hey, I'm really good in sales. Maybe I'm going to have more of a sales bent that was me in my role. And I'm going to need to hire roles that are going to complement my skill sets, right? So a lot of it is rooted in having a business coach that understands you, a roadmap or blueprint that's going to work for you as you scale your business, and then making sure that you have the tools of technology that allows you to accelerate faster. So I don't know if I don't think I gave away the farm there, Dave, but I think I gave you
you gave some of the good pillars that you need, right? So you have the technology, you have the mentorship, you have the processes and systems that are defined and in place to follow, right? That's the benefit. In fact, it's a good time. I want to take a quick break. So I want to talk a little more. I want to talk a little about the leadership side of things, but I also want to talk about franchising in general. So we'll take a 1-minute break. We'll be right back and get into that. Misfit Entrepreneurs, as we build our business and work every day to make a difference in the world, we must not lose sight of setting ourselves and our families up for continued prosperity, both while working and when we choose to retire. But how do we do it? Did you know that studies show the average American will outlive their savings in 401k by 10 years or more? The financial gurus urge you to max out your contributions to the government controlled 401ks or IRAs, but even the man who invented the 401k says it's a failed experiment that should be destroyed. Wall Street tells you to defer paying your taxes by saving in a 401k or IRA because you're going to retire in a lower tax bracket. But if that were true, why are so many retirees who followed that advice finding themselves in the highest tax bracket of their lives? What if there was a better vehicle to help you maximize your financial future? Well, it just so happens it may exist. It's time to get the truth and discover a better way to grow and protect your money. Bank on Yourself is a proven retirement plan alternative banks and Wall Street are desperately hoping you never hear about. Would you like to have guaranteed predictable growth in retirement income, tax-free retirement income, more control over your money, and built-in inflation protection? I bet you would. Learn the secret to safely and predictably grow your wealth every single year, enjoy tax-free retirement income, and gain control of your money. Just go to www.bankonyourself.com/misfit, and they'll send you a free report about the retirement plan alternative that lets you bypass banks and Wall Street and take back control of your financial future. That's www.bankonyourself.com/misfit for your free report. bankonyourself.com/misfit. Okay, so Mike, before we get into talking about just the benefits of franchising and kind of how franchising works for people to know, talk to us a little bit about leadership. Talk to us about building a great team and culture. So what are some of the leadership lessons and principles that you feel have been most important to your success and the success of CertaPro?
Well, Jim Collins' book, The Great. Have you heard of? Yeah. So,
Oh, yeah.
Hungry, Humble, Smart, right? You've maybe even seen that from Patrick Lencioni. I tell you, I brought it up earlier in our discussion, always hungry, never satisfied when we have so little market share. So I think it starts with being humble enough to know that you don't have all the answers. Being in a situation where you're craving to learn and get better at what you do every day. And really, what slows our franchise owners down is leadership development. Am I a good coach? Am I good at transferring a skill from one person to another? That's what really good coaching is. Whether it's in sport, it's very easy to see in sport. Hey, I know how to teach that quarterback how to throw that football or to read that defense. And you see it transition very quickly in sport. Well, in business, it's harder to see that. But when you can transfer sales skills, that's the mark of a good coach, right? They may not have the personality to be a dynamic salesperson, but they're really good at asking the right questions that opens up a customer. So coaching, I think, business coaching specifically is one of the leadership skills. The other one is goal setting and review. Like, did you know that 3% of the population actually sets goals? 3%.
I thought it was lower than that, actually.
3% of the population sets goals. So if you set goals, view your goals on a regular basis. Say, hey, what restrained me from achieving my goals? What allowed me to achieve my goals? And then reflect on it and then set another set of goals for another period of time. Well, you're going to move pretty far in life. And so we want an organization that is created a culture of goal setting and accountability around goals. Everyone on the corporate team has goal setting and review as a meeting cadence. That's a leadership skill that you have to develop. And people need to leave those goal setting and review meetings confident and empowered to achieve their goals during the next period. And you do that in your organization and create rituals and habits around that, man, oh my God, no matter what your organization is, you're going to see dramatic improvement. That's probably one of the most important things that I've been lucky enough to be surrounded by in my entire 25-year history at CertaPro. And so it's a tight area, and no one on my team misses our goal setting and review meetings. And they have different names in different businesses, but I think that's mission critical. Those are probably the two biggest ones.
Well, I think that's a great point too. And like I remarked, I thought less than 3% actually set and review goals on a regular basis, right? I think a lot of people will set an aspiration, but not a true goal, right? Because a goal is not only setting it and putting it out there, but then working through the milestones to get to it, and then working daily actions towards it and everything, right? And so I can, those, and it's not that hard. You just got to do the work. And that's
So
where I think, and that's where people fall short, right? So I mean, it's not rocket science. It's not some magic. It's simply setting it, putting the steps in place, and then doing the work day in, day out to get there. And we talk a lot about on
Dave,
the show. Yeah, good.
sorry to interrupt, but there's such an
No, good.
important poignant there is you set the goals. They're the individual's goals. The
Right,
manager or the leader, their job is to help hold tension and accountability for that individual on their goals.
right.
And if you don't do that in a productive way, and if you don't do that in a ritualistic way, then you're going to be like 97% of the people. You'll just, oh, I set a goal. What's the big deal? It didn't matter. I didn't hit it. Blah, blah, blah. What happens? No, you missed your goal during the last 2 weeks. Let's talk about why and what
Right.
could have gone better. And then let's get in the habit of setting a goal that you know you can achieve. And boy, how does it feel 2 weeks later when you do achieve that goal? And then you start creating these little momentum wins that then tie into the bigger picture of maybe a quarterly goal or an annual goal. Or now you're talking about life goals.
Right.
And that's where painting happens to be our widget. But we're talking, Dave, I'm sure it reflects on anything in your life. You hear about it. It's very easy to see the correlate with sport. But I think it's just so poignant. Why do people fail when they do weight loss? A lot of it's rooted right in this major issue right here. And that's why people tend Weight Watchers trying just to have a damn accountability partner, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's a great point. In the end, it's the discipline on both sides. It's the discipline of the leader to hold accountable. It's the discipline of the person to, not give up and working towards that goal. So I think those are, it's great discussion. Anybody listening should go back and just listen to that about goals and then use that as your blueprint to help set your goals and hold yourself accountable. I guess last question around this before we get into franchising is, what is it that most entrepreneurs miss when it comes to building a successful business?
What do most entrepreneurs miss when building a successful business? Well, in franchising, I'll just tell you from my experience. Most of my adult life and career has been in franchising, so I can't speak to non-franchise businesses. But why do people not have success at CertaPro is you have a proven business model in a box. And when things don't go perfect, it's easy to get off track on what the plan is. That doesn't work in my market. That doesn't work for me. I don't need to do that. I'm smarter than that. These are all the things. We do things like this here. Yet there's 350 people that are doing it really, really successfully, and you're going to try and deviate from that plan. That's what I see. And then honestly, look, running your own business is not for everyone. You have to be wired a certain way. You have to be assertive. You have to have a high sense of urgency. You have to have some ego resilience. You have to be somewhat smart. I mean, you don't have to be a nuclear engineer, but you have to be somewhat smart because you're going to be thrown problems. But I would say, like, if you have some of those attributes, those are great entrepreneurial attributes. And boy, you give that person a business model, technology and marketing and a roadmap, man, they can be successful. I've seen those attributes play out time and time again in personalities. So I don't know if that was helpful or not.
No, that is, and that's again some really great succinct points, and it does lead into the conversation on franchising, right? So let's talk a little bit about you talked about some of the benefits, but let's talk about more of the benefits of franchising and how you help franchises succeed. I think I read the average franchise has I think the average revenue of about a little over 2 million. Right? Pretty good sized business. That's correct, right? So, that's that most businesses never make it to 1 million, right? I think it's a very, very small amount. So talk a little bit about the benefits and how you help franchisors do that.
Well, it goes back to 2 million is just a step on a path to a much larger business. We want to get our average franchisee productivity to $7.5 million over the next 10 years. And we have like I said, a step-by-step roadmap or blueprint how to go from 0 to that. And it's rooted in the right hires at the right time, and which requires the right leadership development for the franchise owner. Quite a bit of investment in technology that's what that we're investing as a franchisor that you will get the benefits of. Understanding the painter community in your market is very important to that as well. And we give you a lot of tools and resources to help you recruit, onboard, and attract talent in the painter community. Believe it or not, that is not our issue. You would think the challenging labor pool in the contractor space, people want to come and work for CertaPro because they do more work than anyone else around them. They franchisees pay the painters more than anyone, and they pay them on time. And so we usually don't have that as an issue. And we're Sherwin-Williams, a $25 billion company. We're their number one customers. So when you have a company that big supporting your success, I mean, those are all just really good reasons why you should really look at CertaPro as a business model. And the economics, right? I mean, our FDD has an incredible item 19 with profitability, starting a business from scratch and growing into $2 million, which is our average productivity, and will be double that in the next 5 years. You can make an incredible return on your investment. And then the beauty is you can sell it for a nice multiple, whether you sell it back to us, the franchisor, but we do 20 resales a year where franchisees sell to outside entrepreneurs and business people, or you sell it to your staff. So it's pretty cool. There's lots of different vehicles towards realizing the equity you built at CertaPro.
Something I think about too, and maybe it's the last question before we get to your Misfit 3, is you have a lot of entrepreneurs listening to this. They've got their own businesses, that sort of thing. And they may be thinking, my business may be a good fit for franchise, right? And so I guess the question is like, what is the advice that you would give maybe to an aspiring entrepreneur who is looking to build a successful franchise model?
If you can replicate it in more than one location and have a business model in a box that you can transfer that skill, I would say one of the biggest challenges with new franchisors is how do you train the new franchisee? Put so much time, energy, and resources into taking somebody who knows nothing about painting and giving them everything they're supposed to know about painting. We don't want anyone from the painting industry joining our organization. We're looking for leaders of men and women and people who aspire to lead people. So those would be some things that I would really think about hard if I'm going to become a franchisor and try and take my one little business and replicate it multiple times over. And you got to be able to make money, right?
Right. Yeah, well, you got to have the margins in place. You got to have, again, it goes back to the systems. It goes back to all that stuff. So, I think anybody out there that's thinking about it, it's, how good are your systems? How replicatable are they? How are your margins? How do you consistently grow? All that is part of it, because it's a different type of business to build on top of a business, right? So, and I think that's a great point. Is there any other topics or any items that you feel are important when it comes to entrepreneurship in general, or even franchising, that maybe we haven't touched on that you feel are important before we get to your Misfit 3?
Well, I would just let people know that rare, if ever in their life, are they going to get an opportunity like CertaPro. We're the largest in our space, probably by a factor of 3. Yet we own 2% of the market. So if you want a business that has a runway of growth for the next 20 years, an incredible opportunity. The ROI on a $250,000 investment is substantive and quickly. And we're excited to some people. We still have 75 territories in the U.S. and Canada. And we'd love to see the right fit. I mean, we say no to more people than we say yes to, in particular about our franchises. But man, you get in, you tend to love it here. And we got a great culture.
That's great. And it's a great way to end it before you get to your Misfit 3. So we're going to do that. We're going to take just one more 60-second break, and we'll be right back with Mike's Misfit 3. Before we get into today's Misfit 3, I want to take a minute to talk to you about a free resource available to you from the Misfit Entrepreneur, the Misfit Minute. The Misfit Minute is the free weekly resource packed with useful tips, tricks, and information from the world of Misfit entrepreneurs. It not only includes further resources on the week's Misfit Entrepreneur guest, but additional links, articles, and resources to help you be more successful. It's delivered every Friday to your inbox. To sign up, all you have to do is go to the homepage at www.misfitentrepreneur.com and you will see the Misfit Minute sign-up page. Don't miss out on this great resource and all it has to help you. Sign up today and look for it this Friday. Okay, it's time for Mike's Misfit 3. These are the 3 things that he wants you to take that you can put in your life, your business, make a difference for yourself starting today. And the way that I always frame this to every guest that comes on the show is I say, hey, look, if you're going to leave the earth tomorrow and you can only leave behind your 3 best pieces of wisdom to the generations that come after you to help them live their best life, what would those 3 things be? So, Mike, what are your Misfit 3?
Well, the first one that I would say is the most important is rituals matter. So think about as all the great memories you have in life are usually rooted in traditions, family. Maybe you celebrate the holidays a certain way with your family or you do a certain thing. But in business, rituals matter. One, it creates continuity within your business. People expect certain things at certain times. So rituals matter. Rituals around setting goals, reviewing goals, holding accountability around goals, man, that is mission critical towards success in life. Rituals matter. First one. Second one is whatever your core values are, don't ever waver on them. It makes it really easy to make tough decisions as long as you're dealing with people, is if there's alignment on core values. So our core values make it really simple. If somebody's not a fit, long term, it's easy to say we need to part ways, and it makes the decision. It's not always easy. It's not always easy, but it is simple. So you find wavering on your core values. So whatever, like I don't just live my CertaPro life living my core values. That's how I raised my 3 kids, my son Kyle, Casey, and Luke. I want them to deliver on their promises, have pride in what they do, get better at what they do every day, respect the individual, and embrace what the possibilities the world can hold for them. And so just be unwavering and tight on your core values, right? So rituals matter, core values. Those are the ones that just, you wanted 3. Those are the 2 that just really stick for me.
Well, if we're going to stay with 2, I think we couldn't find 2 better ones to do so. So that's, those are great. Thank you very much for sharing those. If people do want to learn more about you, the opportunities at CertaPro, where should they go?
CertaPro.com, www.CertaPro.com. Check out franchising opportunities. We have a tab there. We also have a career page as well. But read the testimonials, download the FTD. Our franchisee validation is unmatched in our space. And we have a 5-to-1 support ratio, 5 franchisees for every 1 corporate staff. So we invest in people to ensure you are set up for success as a business owner. That I'm very proud of, and we'll continue to invest in technology and people to really send people on a path towards long-term wealth creation.
Excellent. We'll link to all that in the show notes, the best show notes in the business for reasons I will talk about more in a second. But first, for those of you that are new to the Misfit Entrepreneur, it's your first episode with us. Welcome. It's such an honor to have you with us, listening, watching for the first time. I hope you become a regular listener, watcher, and subscriber. And for all of you that are with us each week, in and out, I cannot thank you enough. You are what makes this show go in over 100 countries every single week. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And make sure and go out and check out the show notes for this episode. They are the best in business. Why? Because I do them myself. As part of my personal growth routine, I go back every single week and I take my best pieces of wisdom and advice from great guests like Mike, and I share those with you. So go check those out. And then go out and give this episode a rating and review. Like and comment on it. Help share Mike's message, because I say this in every episode. We all know one great episode can change someone's life. Maybe something that Mike shared today was that missing link you were looking for to help you further yourself in your life and your business. So share this with others. And again, Mike, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all your wisdom and insight today.
My pleasure to be here. It was great talking to you again, Dave. Continued success to you and your show.